welcome back to physics class. Okay, till last class we have seen the book exercise, only the two exercises we have seen. Now that is exercise 3 and 4. Now we are going to see solve the fifth exercise. So this is from book exercise. Look at the question. A small bulb is placed at the bottom of the tank. There is a water tank. So it's fully filled with water. Imagine it's fully filled with the water. A small bulb is placed in the bottom of the tank. So this is the bulb. Okay. The tank containing water to the depth of 80 centimeter. So what is the depth of the water? The depth of the water is 80 centimeter. What is the area of the surface of water through which the light from the bulb can emerge out? And we are given the hint, the bulb to be the point source. The bulb to be the point source. So from the point source of the bulb, the light can emerge out like this. The light can emerge out. Okay. So this is the incident light in this water medium, and they given the refractive index of water. The refractive index of water that is equal to 1.33. Okay. But what happens from the point source, when a light is emerge out, it forms a circular diameter. So we are going to calculate the area of the surface of water through which the light can emerge out. So the emerging light area we are going to calculate. So what is the emerging light area? And this is the point of incidence A, this is the point of incidence C. Okay, and from the midpoint this is O. So from that we are drawn normal to the incident ray. So this is the incident ray which makes angle to the normal as angle of incidence. Similarly, denser medium to rarer medium, the light goes to the surface itself. The light is refracted to the surface. So this is a refractor ray on either direction. That is a refractor ray on either direction. So here the angle of refraction is 90 degree. So on both sides it is 90 degree. If this is angle of incidence, and this is also to be a angle of incidence. Okay, both the angles, opposite angles are same. Okay, and from the figure we can take and write for the particular angle of incidence, the angle of refraction becomes 90 degree, which is called as critical angle. So we know the angle of refraction is 90 degree from the figure. Okay, and light from the bulb can be a such. So the light from the bulb can be a circle of radius r. So what is the radius? That is equal to half of the diameter. This is a circular area. From the circular area, the radius is half of the diameter. So what is the diameter? That is AC by 2. That is also equal to OC or OB. Therefore, the radius is equal to OC or OB that we found from the figure. And refractive index is given. Angle of refraction also we know, but angle of incidence we want to find. So how can we find it? We know from Snell's law, the refractive index is equal to sin r by sin I. This is the case when the refracted angle becomes 90 degree. That is a critical angle. So that the formula will be like this. Substitute. This is the refractive index of water. No. So that is 1.33, which is equal to sin 90 degree divided by sin I. So what is the value of sin 90 degree? It is 1. Therefore, sin I is equal to 1 by 1.33. We want to find the angle of incidence. So the angle of incidence I, which is equal to the sign you are transferring to right hand side, that become a sine inverse. Sine inverse of 1 by 1.33. What is the value of sine inverse of 1.13? That is equal to 48.75. So the angle of incidence also we found, and we have angle of refraction too. Okay, angle of refraction is 90 degree from the figure, and angle of incidence we found. The next one from the figure, we want to find the circular area. Our aim is to find the circular area. So radius, next step we are going to determine the radius. From the step 1, we found the angle of incidence, and from the step 2, we are going to find the radius. How can we find the radius? So from figure, we can calculate tan I. What is the tan I? This is a right angle triangle, no? So tan I means opposite by adjacent. What is the opposite? OC. From figure, tan I is equal to opposite by adjacent. What is the opposite? Opposite is nothing but OC, adjacent is OB. OC by OB. There is a bulb, no? Yes. Then tan, what is the angle of incidence? 48.75 degree, which is equal to, what is the OC? OC is nothing but radius, R divided by OB. OB is nothing but depth of the bulb. The depth of the bulb which is immersed in the water. Okay. So what is the depth? Depth already we have got is 80 centimeter, that you converted into meter. So the depth which is equal to 0.80 meter. 0.80 meter. So we want to find the radius. So from the formula we can get the radius. Therefore radius R is equal to 0.80 into tan 48.75 degree. Finding this value and multiplying with that, we'll get the radius which is equal to 0.91 meter. The radius of this circular emerging out is 0.91 meter. Then what is the aim? Now only we are going to find the area of the surface of water through which the light emerging out. So the next step is we are finding area of the light emerging out from it. So that is a circular area, no? What is the circular area formula? The circular area formula is pi r square. So we know the value of pi, it is 3.14. Into radius we found it. What is the radius? 0.91 meter the whole square. So after multiplying everything, finally the value is 2.61 meter square. Therefore, the circular area of the water surface in which the light emerged out is 2.61 meter square. We found it. It's a very simple problem. You should understand the question first. So read the question carefully. A small bulb is placed at the bottom of the tank. The bulb is taken as a point source, and the tank is filled with water to the depth of 80 centimeter. From the point source, the light is emerged out. So what is the circular area of the emerging light from the water surface? We are going to determine. So in the cases, from the point source, when the light is coming out, it refracted on the surface of separation itself. So the refracted angle becomes 90 degree. So we are going to find the angle of incidence. Okay. So for that we'll use the formula n is equal to sin r by sin I. Sin r is 90 degree. So sin 90 value is 1. And they given the tank is filled with water. The refractive index of water is 1.33. After substituting and rearranging, we got the angle of incidence. So the angle of incidence is 48.75. Next, we want to find the area, no? So in the circular area, the radius we want to find. By knowing the radius only we can determine the area. So what is the radius formula? You take this right angle triangle, any one right angle triangle. It may be OBC or OBA. Okay, any one of the right angle triangle you consider. It may be OBC or OBA. So in the right angle triangle, tan I is equal to opposite by adjacent. That is OC by OB is OB. Okay. So from that we can find the radius. After finding the radius, then substitute directly to the area formula. that is pi r square. So pi value we know. After substituting, then the circular area of the light emerging from the surface is 2.61 meter square. Next, moving to the next question 6. Question number 6. Look at the question. A prism is made up of glass of unknown refractive index. We don't know the refractive index, but the material is glass. A parallel beam of light is incident on a face of the prism. So a glass prism, we don't know the refractive index of the prism, okay, but it is made up of glass, that we are sure. So a parallel beam of light is incident on a face of the prism, and angle of minimum deviation is 40 degree. So in that cases, angle of minimum deviation is 40 degree. And what is the refractive index of glass? We want to determine the refractive index of glass. And the refractive angle of the prism, it never change. So the angle of the prism is 60 degree. Okay. And second case, actually this glass prism is placed in air. Now you are going to place this glass prism in water. By placing in water, the same is happen. Now the glass prism is placed in a water. Now predict the new angle of minimum deviation. Are you clear? A glass prism is placed in air. In that, angle of minimum deviation is given. Angle of the prism is standard, it's a 60 degree. So what is the refractive index of the unknown glass prism? Now the same glass prism is placed in the water. Okay. What is the new angle of minimum deviation? Okay. So in that cases, we can determine the refractive index. What is the refractive index with the angle of minimum deviation? Already we know. Sin A plus delta m by 2 by sin A by 2. Okay. So substitute the value. Sin A is 60 degree. So 60 plus 40, 100 by 2. 100 by 2 is equal to 50. It is sin 50 degree divided by sin 60 by 2. It is a 30 degree. Okay. After substituting the values, sin 30 we know 1 by 2, and this 50 degree value also we know. So after rearranging, the refractive index of the glass, unknown glass prism, we found it. So the refractive index of the glass prism is 1.532. So this is in air. The refractive index of glass with respect to air, we have found it. Okay. The next one, where we are placing the same glass prism is placed in water. When the same glass prism is placed in water, what is the new angle of minimum deviation? Okay. Then what is the new angle of minimum deviation? We are going to determine. So the conditions. The refractive index of glass with respect to water is equal to the refractive index of glass with respect to air divided by the refractive index of water. Okay. So this is the formula. We already know that refractive index of glass with respect to water is equal to refractive index of glass with respect to air divided by where it is placed. It is placed in water. And water refractive index is given, it is 1.33. Okay. Then what is the formula? Sin A plus delta m dash minimum deviation by 2 divided by sin A by 2. But the angle does not change. The same glass only we use, but instead of air, it is placed in water. Then substitute the value. So what is the refractive index of glass with respect to air? It is 1.532 divided by 1.33, which is equal to yes, we'll substitute the value and then we'll rearrange. So sin A plus A is 60 degree, no? So A plus delta m dash divided by Sine 30. So after substituting the value, this is a formula. So you are substituting the angle of the prism as well as we don't know the value of the angle of minimum deviation. This only we want to determine. But 60 by 2 becomes 30. So this value you make it as a cross multiplication. So what you will get? Sine A plus delta m dash, which is equal to 1.532 divided by 1.33. The denominator will be multiplied into sine 30 degree. Okay. So after multiplying that, the next step is, yes, after multiplying that, the next step is, so simplifying this value, it becomes 0.5759. So sine A plus delta m dash is equal to this value, and A plus delta m dash is equal to sine inverse of 0.5759. Because what is the value of sine 30? It is 1 by 2. So after multiplication and rearranging, this is the value you will get. Okay. Then the sine inverse this value, which is equal to 35.16 degree. Okay. 35.16 degree, and angle of the prism is 60 degree. We don't know the angle of minimum deviation. Therefore, angle of minimum deviation is equal to 60 degree. Yes. One more thing we forgot to do. A plus delta by 2. See, in this step once again we will rearrange. This side fully get modified. So sine A plus delta m dash by 2 value is this. Okay, and next one by 2 we didn't use still. So A plus delta m dash by 2 is equal to this value. Fine. And sine you are transferring to that side. So A plus delta m dash by 2 is equal to this value. Here also A plus delta m dash by 2 is equal to this value. And A plus delta m dash, which is equal to 2, you multiply to the right hand side. You will get 70.32 degree. And angle of the prism is 60 degree. So 60 degree plus delta m dash is equal to 70.32 degree. Therefore, the new angle of minimum deviation is equal to 17.32 degree minus 60 degree, which is equal to 10.32. Which is equal to 10.32 degree. This is a new angle of minimum deviation. Okay, I'll explain once again. Listen it carefully. There is a glass prism. Initially, it is placed in air. We don't know the refractive index of the glass prism, but it is a glass. It is a material which is made up of is glass. And the given angle of minimum deviation when it is placed in air is 40 degree. And the refracting angle of the prism that never change, it is 60 degree because it is equilateral triangular glass prism, so 60 degree. So when the glass prism is placed in air, so the refractive index of glass with respect to air we can find directly by substituting the angle of the prism and the given angle of minimum deviation. Then we get the refractive index of glass when it is placed in air. Now you are going to transfer the glass prism into water having the refractive index is 1.33. What is the new angle of minimum deviation? So when a refractive index of the glass is placed in the water, which is equal to ratio between refractive index of glass to the refractive index of water. That is sine the refractive index formula. Sine A plus delta m dash by 2 by sine A by 2. So substituting the refractive index of glass with the air to the refractive index of water. Then after rearranging, then finally you will get the refractive index of new refractive index of the glass prism. But in this step you should be very careful. Here denominator 2 is there. Okay, I left the 2 in the beginning. So sine A plus delta m dash by 2, which is equal to this denominator while you are transferring to that side, that become a multiplication. So sine 30 become 1 by 2, and the ratio of this 2 value with the dividing by 2 is 0.5759. And the sine, now we are transferring to the right hand side, that become a sine inverse. So in a natural sine, straight to this answer, what is the angle you find it? In a natural sine, straight to 0.5759. What is the angle? You see the angle. So that is the angle 35 degree 16 minute, or 35.16 degree. Okay. So A plus delta m by 2 is equal to this value. The 2 now you are transferring to right hand side, that is multiplied. So 2 into this value becomes 70.32 degree. And the angle of the prism is 60 degree. Now 60 you transfer to right hand side. Then after the difference, then finally the angle of minimum deviation, that is a new angle of minimum deviation, is 10.32 degree. Okay. Moving to the 7th question. Going to solve question number 7. Look at the question. Double convex lens are to be manufactured from a glass of refractive index 1.55. Okay. There is a double convex lens. It is manufactured to the refractive index of the glass, that is 1.55, with the both faces of the same radius of curvature. So the first face radius of curvature to the right hand side. So it is plus R. R1 is equal to plus R. And the second spherical surfaces. So the second spherical surfaces, that is R2 is equal to minus R, because it is in the left hand side, this is in the right hand side. Okay. Now what they are asking, what is the radius of curvature required if the focal length is 20 centimeter? They given the focal length in this case, it is a 20 centimeter, always plus. Okay. So this we are going to solve now. I repeat once again, there is a convex lens, it is a double convex lens. A double convex lens of same refractive index, but both the faces having same radius of curvature. Having the focal length of 20 centimeter, what would be the radius of curvature required? We know the lens maker's formula. From lens maker's formula, what is the formula? 1 by f is equal to n minus 1 into 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. Substitute all the value, given value. Okay. So focal length is 20 centimeter, 1 by 20, which is equal to refractive index is 1.55 minus 1 into 1 by r1. What is the r1? Here r1 at the right hand side, so that is taken as plus r, and r2 it is in the left hand side, that is taken as minus r. So 1 by r1 it is a plus r, minus 1 by r2 it is a minus r. So minus into minus become plus. In the next step we will enter. So 1 by 20, which is equal to 0.55 into 1 by r plus 1 by r. So what is the value? 2 by r. It becomes 2 by r. So 1 by r plus 1 by r is equal to 2 by r. Therefore r you transfer to that side. So 20 mutually you transfer. So r, which is equal to 0.55 into 2 into 20. Finally the radius of curvature, that approximately equal to 22 centimeter. So if the double convex lens is made up of the glass of refractive index 1.55 having the focal length 20 centimeter, then the radius of curvature would be 22 centimeter. So lens maker's formula is used to calculate the radius of curvature also. By knowing the refractive index and the focal length, we can determine the radius of curvature. In some other situations, they may give the two different radius of curvature. But in this case, they given equal radius of curvature, but according to sign, the first surface, spherical surface, having the radius of curvature to the right hand side, so taken as plus. And the second spherical surface having the radius of curvature to the left hand side, so taken as minus. Okay. In some other cases, they may give the two different radius of curvature. In that cases, how to find the refractive index? By knowing the focal length. So for all, we use this lens maker's formula. From lens maker's formula. So this is a formula. So using this formula only we have solved. Okay. Hope you have cleared this question. Next we are moving to the 8th question. Look at the question carefully. So whenever you are solving the numericals, kindly go through the questions one or two times. Okay. By reading the questions, you take and write the hints. Also draw a model diagram. Then you'll get solutions. Easily you can solve it. And this question, a beam of light that converges at a point P. Okay. Now the lens is placed in the path of the convergent beam. Actually, a beam of light converge a point P. Okay. Now on the path a lens is placed. So a lens is placed in the path of the convergent beam 12 centimeter from P. From this convergence, we placed a lens. Okay. By placing lens 12 centimeter from that, at what point does the beam converges the lens? If it is a convex lens having the focal length f is equal to 20 centimeter, or if it is a concave lens having the focal length 16 centimeter. Are you clear? A parallel beam of light that converges a point P. Now a lens is placed in the path of the convergent beam 12 centimeter from P. From P 12 centimeter the lens is placed. If it is a concave lens of focal length 16 centimeter, what would be the image distance? If it is a convex lens of focal length 20 centimeter, what would be the image distance? Okay. So the solution here, object is virtual because from object is virtual, but the rays are meeting a point P. So the image is real because real image is formed by convergent beam. So here object is virtual. It's a very important point. Object is virtual, whereas the image is real. Therefore, the object distance U is equal to plus 12 centimeter. So this is the object distance. Okay, it does not change. But in the case of convex lens with the focal length, we can easily determine the image distance. Okay. So A case, convex lens of focal length 20 centimeter and the image distance V. Let me take image distance, that is V. Okay. From lens formula, we know the lens formula. What is the lens formula? Lens formula is 1 by the reciprocal of focal length is the difference in the image reciprocal of image distance and the object distance. So substitute the values. 1 by f, that is 1 by 20, which is equal to 1 by v minus 1 by u plus 12. Okay. Then we want only the v, no? So 1 by v, which is equal to 1 by f plus 1 by u. Yes, this is the formula. So in this formula, you substitute the value. What is the value? 1 by 20 plus 1 by 12, which is equal to, take LCM. For 20 and 12, the LCM is 60. So how many 20s are 60? It is 3. And how many 12s are 60? It is 5. So 3 plus 5 is equal to 8 by 60. Therefore, 1 by v is equal to 8 by 60, or v, take reciprocal on both sides. Therefore, v is equal to 60 by 8. Therefore, the image distance for this case, it is 7.5 centimeter. Therefore, the image distance is 7.5 centimeter. Hence, we obtain the image distance for a convex lens of focal length. Now, we are going to determine if it is a concave lens of focal length 16 centimeter, what would be the image distance? Okay. In the next slide. Okay, B. So it is a concave lens of focal length. Concave lens of focal length. For concave lens, focal length is always minus. It is diverging lens. So minus 16 centimeter, and we take the image distance as V. If we take the image distance as V. So from lens formula, as usual, from length formula, 1 by f is equal to 1 by v minus 1 by u. We want to find v only. Therefore, 1 by v is equal to 1 by f plus 1 by u. Substitute the value. Focal length is minus 16 plus 1 by u is, what is the image distance? The image distance is 12. Object distance. You only use the object distance. No, object distance does not change. So 12. So take LCM. So 1 by v is equal to, for 16 and 12, what is the LCM? So 16 and 12, LCM is 48. So how many 16s are 48? How many 16s are 48? It is 3. So here minus, so minus 3, extra sign is plus. How many 12s are 48? It is 4. Okay, then minus 3 plus 4 is equal to plus 1 by 48. So take reciprocal on both sides. V is equal to 48 centimeter. So image distance is 48 centimeter. I hope you have cleared this question. I will repeat once again. So a beam of light that converges a point. A beam of light all converges a point P. From the point P, at 12 centimeter the object is placed. Therefore, object distance is plus 12 centimeter. Okay. So, at what point does the beam converge? Which means image distance. We are going to determine the image distance. If you are using a convex lens of focal length 20 centimeter, if you use a concave lens of focal length 16 centimeter. Actually, convex lens converge light ray, so the focal length is plus. But concave lens, the diverge light ray, so focal length is minus. From that, we can find the image distance. I hope you can understand this question. Next, we are moving to the ninth question. Moving to the next question. Question number 9. Look at the question. An object of light is placed in front of 40 centimeters of a concave lens. So this is the type of problem AD. What is the type of problem? The type of problem is 3 centimeter. It is placed in front of a concave lens. This is a concave lens. The focal length of concave lens is given. So from optic center to focus, it is diverging. It is minus 21 centimeter. See, the question is given on 21, but after you find it, minus. Diverging image only. Okay, that is visual image. And what happens if the object moves further away from the lens? If object moves further away from the lens also, there is no change because concave lens always produce visually dimmed image. That is also at the same kind of problem. Okay, so the object may be placed anywhere on the crystal axis. Then we can say that between infinite to optic center. The object may be placed anywhere on the crystal axis. Between infinite to optic center, the object moves further. There is no change in the image. So now we are going to solve from the given data. So what is the height of an object? That is 3 centimeter. That's 3 centimeter. Okay, object distance is here. Object distance here. Yes. The object is placed. How much distance? 14 centimeters. So from right is minus 15. So the u is equal to minus 15 centimeter. Having the focal length, that is also minus. Focal length is equal to minus 21 centimeter. So we want to define the image distance also now. So using lens formula. Using lens formula. What is the formula? 1 by v is equal to 1 by f is equal to 1 by v minus 1 by u. Therefore, 1 by v is equal to 1 by f. This we are trying to that side. So plus 1 by v. Now we substitute the value. What is the focal length? Is minus 21 centimeter plus 1 by u minus 40 centimeter. So take LCM of both sides. So 1 by v is equal to what is LCM? It is 42. 42 is the LCM. So here we multiply 2. So minus 2 plus it means multiply minus 3. Minus 3. 1 by 2 is equal to minus 5 by 42, or V take the 0 plus both sides. So V is equal to minus 42 by 5, which is equal to minus 8 by 40, 20, 4 by 20. So minus 8.4 millimeter. So image forms at distance. So image forms here. So image forms less than the focal length. Yes, image forms less than the focal length. Since the focal length is 21 millimeter, so the image is minus 8.4 millimeter. Now we want to identify what happens to the size of what happens to the arm move further away from the lens. Okay, now we are going to find it's the size of the image. We know the magnification. For the lens, the magnification is the ratio between height of the image to height of an object, and is also equal to ratio between image distance to object distance. Therefore, the height of the image is equal to V by U. This is one kind of step. Now substitute all the values. What is the image distance? It is minus 8.1 millimeter divided by what is the object distance? It is minus 14 millimeter. So centimeter to get cancelled. In the height of the object, 6 millimeter. So after removing, then finally the height of the image is value minus of cancel. So 8.4 by 40 is equal to 0.6 into 3. So in 3 millimeter. So 0.6 into 8 is equal to 1.8 millimeter. Therefore, the height of the image will be 1.8 millimeter. We are solving. So this is the right answer. See, very simple. What we are solving as the same method. A 3 centimeter center of an object place, 40 centimeters from our concave lens, having the focal length 21 centimeter. What will be the image distance? And what happens to the image if the object further moves away? Even if we move further away, the image remains constant dimension because the object place anywhere on the axis at the left hand side, that is between infinite to object center, the lens produces only the mutually limited image. So mostly the concave is used in the defects of human eye, to correct the defects of human eye, particularly myopia. Since that was removed from our portion, the concave lens, the different power of concave lens is used to rectify myopic defect. That is near-sighted. The person with the myopic eye is able to see the object, but he cannot see the hard object. So for him, the concave lens of the power can be used to correct the defect. Moving to the next question, listen. What is the focal length of convex lens? Okay, what is first we draw a definition here. There is a convex lens. The focal length we want to find, but already given the focal length of convex lens, it is 30 centimeter in contact with the concave lens. So with this lens, we have a contact with the concave lens. A concave lens of focal length is diameter of minus 20 centimeters per contact. So in this combination, in the system of combination, it is converging or diverging to what predict. You can there are two lenses are given. One is the convex lens having a focal length 30 centimeter, have contact with the concave lens of focal length 20 centimeter. If the system is converging or diverging, so from the final focal length, the next focal length of this combination, we are going to find for the next focal length, we are going to find the combination of this lens system is converging or diverging. Okay, so solve it. So already we know the formula. The combination of the system. So combination of lens system.
that is 1 by f is equal to 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2. Okay. So 1 by f is equal to what is the first equation of convection? It is less than theta. 1 by f2 is minus n theta. So take LCM. 1 by f is equal to 30 and 20 less than 60. 60 here we multiply 2, it becomes 60, so there are 60. Here to get 60 we multiply 3, there are 60. So there is minus 3. So 2 plus minus 3 is equal to minus 160. If numerators are equal, automatically denominators are equal. Therefore 1 by f is equal to 1 by minus 60 or f is equal to minus 60 meter. So the next focal length of the combination is minus. Due to negative sign, the combination of length is 90 degrees. So system the combination of the system is 90 degrees. Okay, that's it. Unmentioned, ignore the reason of make it length whatever it is, but the combination of the length is finally diagonal. So based on this, there is a possibility to add in 1 mark as well as 2 marks. So kindly go to this question. It's very, very important question. It's not a 5 question. It comes more than 5.
6 questions we have solved today. Remaining questions we will see next class. Thank you.